Or I'll be beaten. Shows the bullet. I mean, the impact they were showing. 2 minutes. It's either me or him.
Didn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm. A fight or flight reaction to it. He screamed like a girl. I put commentary with it. I'd have told Austin he screamed like a schoolgirl.
Crying, knowing she just shot somebody.
Right. But that's that primal reflex of fight or flight.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, man, that's powerful. You know, well, I was thinking about, while she was talking about it, it's that we all have a primal instinct to fight or flight, and it was pretty obvious that this guy wasn't in there taking the laptops and the iPads.
Yeah, there's some
He
things,
was going for a different.
yeah, there's some things I noticed because number one, he rang the doorbell.
Mm-hmm.
He rang the doorbell, so he was gonna try to get in there under the guise of, whatever he was gonna say. Hey, I need this or I need that, or can I come in this phone? But my point is, he didn't start out breaking in. He was trying to get in the house under the guise of being non-threatening
Right.
in some way or another. So, I don't know if he looked in the window and saw her, but it's pretty obvious that he wasn't there, like you said, he wasn't there to steal some items. He was there for her because once he knew he had her neutralized in the closet,
Mm-hmm.
if he had been there to rob the house, he would have gone. But he went specifically to the closet and was trying to get in the closet where she was.
Right.
So he started out trying. I'm going to try to get in the house in a non-threatening way, as quietly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that didn't work, he resorted to a more violent entry. And then whenever he had her in the closet, then he pursued her and pursued her and pursued her, I believe, until she had to shoot him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, my question in the whole matter is, how is this covered? The only place I heard it was on Fox News.
Well, that's the only clip I could find.
I mean, and when I heard it on Sunday morning, I texted John and asked him to see if he could get the clip, and let's talk about it today. But I'd like to know if any of you listening to the radio today heard it on any other news outlet besides Fox News, would you call us and let us know? I don't want to give somebody a bad rap that unnecessarily.
Right.
If the mainstream media covered this event, I really would like to know about it. It's serious to me. This issue is at the heart of some of our problems in the United States. And the reason that I wanted to bring it out today, after having just returned from Belize, the gun laws in Belize are very strict. You can own a gun in Belize, but number one, you have to have a reason. In other words, you have to own a business or have some reason to have a gun to protect whatever. But it don't do you any good. It costs you $500 a year for a permit. You can have a permit, but it has to be registered to a specific gun, and that gun can't be more than a 9mm in caliber. And you can basically only have one gun per permit. Unlike here in the United States, I have a gun permit. I have a concealed weapon permit in the state of Florida, and I can carry whatever gun I want. And I appreciate our laws in this country, and every time I go somewhere else, I appreciate them even more. Now, under the Belize laws are under the British Commonwealth, therefore they're under the common laws. And under common law, if you use a gun if a gun is used in any kind of a situation, the person using the gun automatically goes to jail. You are guilty until proven innocent. And so if I lived in Belize and somebody broke into my home, like an incident like this, well, let's just say it, an incident like this, that 12-year-old girl would have went to jail in Belize until she could have been proven not guilty.
Well, that's reason number 248. Our forefathers came over here and said, that isn't the right system. We don't agree with that. So we're going to try to do it a different way.
Now, see, here's the reason I wanted to bring this out again about the media. And I hope somebody, if you heard it on, or I hope you'll call in and comment either way, but especially if you heard it on any other news outlet. You see, the liberal media wants to present guns as the problem. Well, here in this particular case, it wasn't the gun that was the problem, it was the gun that was the solution.
Right.
You see, we have a right to protect our life and property. And to do away with guns means, and I'm convinced more every day that those who, with their concepts to do away with the right to own guns, they're the ones who want control. They're the ones who want a dictatorship. And they want a dictatorship because they want to be the ones controlling in the rulership. And we don't need that. We're a free country. We need to fight. We need to stand up. We need to do everything necessary to maintain our freedoms in this country. We are losing them every day, and we need to make sure that we do what we need to do I'll tell you what's going to cause them to be lost, and that's complacency. That's just not doing anything, not saying anything, being afraid. Listen, in connection with this, another thing I discovered in Belize, I went to an area down there, a place called the City River. Beautiful, beautiful place. A jungle environment. The City River flows out into the Caribbean, and they're developing that area. People are moving from Europe and the United States and retiring down there. They're building $1 million homes, and I happened to be along this particular area, and we rented a cottage on the beach, on the Caribbean, but basically because in this village it was the only place available that was where you could get a place to stay. So we went and rented this cottage, and it was a little more than what we wanted to pay, and we weren't there for the beach. We didn't even go on the beach. But when we rented it on a Saturday afternoon, the people that rented it to us were, the environment wasn't real good. They were drinking, probably using drugs. They were kind of smart like when we rented it. And I had my wife and I were there, and I was a little bit concerned. And so we went back along the City River where we'd been looking and again doing a survey trip down there. We went back along this river, and earlier in the day we had seen a couple out mowing their lawn. And we went back in the later evening, and they were finishing up, and I stopped just to ask some questions about the area, prices of property, availability, things of that nature, if it flooded in the area, that type of thing. And they were very free with their information. And then during the course of the conversation, it came up that we were not real comfortable where we were staying, and they invited us to stay in their home.
Wow.
These folks are from Beaumont, Texas, and they were very generous, very kind, very good people. And we stayed with them. I took them up on that, and we stayed with them for 2 nights, and they were just a tremendous blessing to us. But we learned a lot from them. They've been there 15 years. They have a beautiful home on the City River, and they, a lot of the stuff about the guns and the what's going on in the area, I learned from them.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I learned from them was this, and that is the people are afraid to stand up because people they have a bully complex there, whatever you might want to call it. But if they stand up and if you report somebody that's done wrong and they go to jail, well, they're going to be out in 2 days. If you
Mhm.
kill somebody, if a native Belizean kills somebody there, usually they can get away with it. They can be out of jail in 2 or 3 days or a week, you know. Or if they rob an American or whatever it might be, or somebody else even, they're back on the street in no time at all. Well, that's the kind of thing we must avoid in this country.
Right.
Because and the only way it's going to be avoided, I'm telling you, the only way it's going to be avoided is for the average citizen to stand up.
Mhm.
You cannot depend on government to protect you entirely. Sometimes government becomes the problem.
Right.
And there is such corruption in the Belizean government down there in certain areas that these problems are allowed to go on. So anyway, I thank God for that little girl and the fact that they did have a gun in the home, and the fact if they hadn't have had that gun, that little girl had probably been raped and dead now.
Right.
This sleazeball breaking in on them, and I'm a big hole in the door.
Like I said, I'm convinced he was after her. I mean, and just the deceptive way he started out trying to get in.
Right.
And he went directly for her. There's no report that he took anything else. There's no report that he was after any other item. So yeah, that gun saved her life.
They said that he had nothing else on him.
Yeah.
And it just was like, you know what? We know exactly where he's going.
Exactly. Absolutely. See, and again, why wouldn't the liberal media report this?
Right.
Why wouldn't your mainstream media report this?
Right after you text me, I went online to just see if, like, my CNN app and all those had any, and I couldn't find anything.
Absolutely not.
I mean, seriously.
We're not saying that no one else reported it. We're
No.
saying we can't find it anywhere.
Yeah,
We can't find
if anybody out there listening today knows heard it anywhere on any other media, we'd like to know. We'd like you to call in today.
Mm-hmm.
That number's 994-3747. Call us today. Join in the conversation.
Exactly. We want you to be a part
of it. What's that other number, John?
994-0823. Or you can go to our website, truthradiofm.org. Just be a part of the conversation. We want you. Even though it's Halloween tonight.
Is this Halloween?
Yes, it is.
Halloween.
Oh, yes.
Well,
Brother Dewey's already got his costume.
You beat me to it, didn't you?
So we might as well just go ahead and speak the truth right now. So.
I knew what you were going to say.
Oh, buddy, you did, didn't you? Read my mind.
But you do have a nice
Watch it. That sounds like a pot calling kettle.
Woo! All right. Well, the Issues of Life radio show right here on WTGF 90.5. Again, join in on our conversation. 994-3747, 994-0823. Of course, you can always go to the website at truthradiofm.org. The Issues of Life radio show right here on WTGF 90.5.